Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode on the E-Report. We are here live in Boya at the Hustlers Conference, the 4th edition. With us today is a very special guest, one of the speakers for today's conference, Mrs. Guti Stella.
Nice to meet you. That's okay.
I'm so honored to have you here. I enjoyed everything you said, and inside I learned a lot. But I also think our listeners be so blessed to learn from you as well. So you are speaking about a lot of mental awareness and mental health issues. Can you tell us more about that, ma'am?
Okay. So I think it's popular myth when people hear the word mental health, they forget about the fact that there is health attached to it, and they think about craziness, madness, and all of that, right? So mental health basically is a person's ability to be of good mental health, emotional health, generally, or it could be simply put as how well or healthy a person thinks, feels, and acts. Now, if we want to go a little deeper, we could use what the World Health Organization defines as mental health. And WHO defines mental health as a person's ability to recognize the potential, make healthy decisions, be productive and fruitful, cope with the normal stresses of life, and above all, give back to the community. So when we say that a person has good mental health, it means that you as an individual, can you recognize your potential? Can you cope with everyday's life stresses and not break? Can you be productive and fruitful? And at the end, can you give back to your community? So mental health is holistic. That's what mental health is.
That's a very interesting definition, especially I think heavy on the fact of not breaking, because I think people put a lot of stigmatization to when people break down.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, like when you break down your week, especially I think mostly with men.
These are some misconceptions.
Mostly with men, it also goes, I think with women, but mostly with men, that when a man breaks down, it's like, oh, he's weak.
Yeah.
So I think, can you tell us more about mental health when it concerns the male gender?
Yeah.
In comparison to the female.
Yeah. Just like being human in general, we have societal constructs and stereotypes that govern us as being human. We have traditions that are no longer serving us, but we are still there. So same way when it comes specifically to the males, the male gender, we get to realize that we have societal misconstrues that are no longer serving us, but we are still there. Some of which is if a man cries, he's soft. No. Do humans cry? Yes. So a man is a human, so it's okay if he cries.
Very true.
Good. Do women work? Yes. They get tired? Yes. Do they get exhausted? Yes. If a man works and gets tired, it's okay. So we are in a very stereotypical environment where we try to put the bulk of the work on the man, forgetting that before they are assigned the gender of male, they are human. So when we tend to treat everybody as human and give them equal opportunities of care, of attention, and of grace, holding space for them, we get to not just look at them from the construct of they are male or female, but from a construct of we are human, we have the same shared lived experiences, and I'm going to be compassionate and kind towards this person.
Yeah. Okay. How has it been like someone talking out about mental health and all of that clinically? I know Cameroonians tend to really shy away. I was talking about shy from the mental health issue, like you're going crazy, you're going crazy kind of. When people have come to you and be like, I'm suffering in this aspect of mental health, and like, how do you deal with that?
Okay. Now, the beautiful thing about the mental health industry in Cameroon is it is a budding, a thriving landscape. Unlike in the days where there's a lot of awareness going on around and about mental health.
Nice.
So, people are now becoming more aware of what mental health is as compared to what it isn't. So, with this, the essence, the core principles of mental health is this: confidentiality, 1, empathy, 2, 3, non-judgment. So if you are a clinical professional who's helping people to assess, diagnose, and treat, you have to know that what guides you through, even if you're just a mental health first responder or a peer educator, because we train mental health first responders, like they are not professionals, but we train them with professional skills to provide mental health first aid in the absence of a professional. So your guiding principles are still confidentiality, non-judgment, and empathy. So people now know that, okay, there are people they can reach out to, that they can reach out to for safe space. Some people call it safe haven, support system. The AA, alcohol anonymous, the AA groups for people that are alcoholics. We also have mental health support groups for people going through different mental health conditions. And how can we assign them to support groups? we have to first of all understand what you're going through.
Yeah, true.
And the power of support group is that you're able to know you're not the only one going through this. This person is going through this. You are in
That
this group
helps.
together, and we are going through all of this through
Yeah.
the solutions together. So when someone comes up to me, mostly from when I've spoken or from somebody recommends, like I think Mr. Desmond was saying that, you know, he has had people work with me because he has recommended a few of his people to come, like, okay, she's a therapist, you know, go over there. Now when they come, they are skeptical. So that's why the very introductory role of every therapist or every clinical professional is rapport building. So when these people come, let's say they have a lot of knowledge about what mental health is, or they do not have at all, your role is grade rapport building. When you build a great rapport with the people from the induction, it sets the stage of how the therapy sessions will go. So the very first session is building great introduction, right? Making them comfortable, doing a little bit of psychoeducation, you know, telling them about how the therapy works. You
Yeah.
know, just breaking the ice and making them know that, okay, this is it. Are you willing to work with this?
It's normal.
Yeah,
It's not, yeah.
yeah. Like therapy is not me counseling you per se. It's not me giving you advice. Therapy is a journey in which I am assisting you to journey towards recovery. So I'm not telling you, okay, go and put on bomb shots to do this or do that. No, I am more of, okay, thank you. I'm holding space for you. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing this. Do you think there's anything you would have done? I'm helping you become present in your life. Because like I said, it is within you that bliss is found. And most people have not recognized the power within themselves. Therapy helps you, makes you accountable to joining within yourself to find your individuality, your self-actualization, and building your autonomy.
That's wonderful. At this point, I think I need therapy. All right, because in there you did a particular exercise.
Oh
where you
yeah,
have
that's a
to-
mindfulness
'cause
meditation exercise.
I went to a place that was so back, and I just enjoyed being there.
glad.
And I can imagine that there are people that need that sometimes. Like sometimes you're so burdened with the present, and you forget you can go back to the past and find a safe place
Yes.
and bring it now to where you
It keeps
are.
you grounded.
Yeah.
Knowing that, okay, if I was able to go through this in the past, there's a high possibility that I can go through it now in the present.
Yeah.
So basically,
So with therapy, something that I think you mentioned something about like first aid,
Yeah.
like in a mental sense. Always take first aid. Oh no, yeah, you fell, you have an accident. Let's put first aid.
Awesome.
Then they don't think about the first aid of
Thank you.
mentally. How do you, like somebody comes to you? What does first aid look like mentally?
great. Now there's what we call PFA, which is psychological first aid, and we give that to somebody who's going through an emotional distress in the immediate, you know, event of that distress. For example, let's say there is a landslide. The people that have, you know, are in that environment, how do you give them PFA? You give them PFA one, but first of all, let's say you look at the 3L principles, the look, listen, and link. When you look around for the people that are injured, right, you now listen to them, see building rapport, right, linking them not to professionals and making them calm. The essence of PFA is ensuring that the person is calm and grounded, even though something really bad has happened to them.
Yeah.
Whether it's a fire incident. Now, with mental health, it is more in depth. I said PFA is immediate response to emotional distress, you know, at the event of a disaster. Mental health first aid, on the other hand, is more in depth. You get to understand what mental health really is. You get to understand the stereotypes. You get to understand the need for mental health education. You get to know mental health conditions or mental disorders like anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, eating disorders, sleep disorders. So that's what mental health first responder does. So mental health first, it teaches you all these mental health conditions and how to recognize the signs and the so you see how different it is from PFA.
Yeah.
PFA is immediate at the event of that incident. Mental health first aid is I am providing you in-depth knowledge to understand what mental health is, how to take care of yourself as a mental health first responder, how to recognize mental health conditions with people in your community, and how to provide support for them in the absence of the professional. And then at the end of the day, how to link them to a professional when
Yeah.
your first aid knowledge is over.
Yeah. Okay, so the same way that people can go about learning first aid for
Yeah, we
physical,
train people for
yeah,
to be
you
mental health
can.
first responders. Yes, we train people to be mental health first
I think
responders.
that's something everybody should, because
I know, it's free.
everybody really goes through mental issues. I think even at home, children might.
Yeah.
It's something that everybody put in effort to learning. We can tend to help those around us more frequently.
Absolutely, and it's free, right? Our mental health first responder trainings are free.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free. It's for everybody. Like you said, it's just ensuring that everybody has education about mental health awareness and what mental health truly is. It's not seeing it as a disorder, because mental health simply means you're healthy in your mind. The disorder or the illness, it means now there's a distortion in your cognitive ability, impeding your daily functioning.
Yeah.
So yes.
So how does someone get about your services, like getting that mental first aid? Like
Okay, so for people who want to just come forward to be trained as mental health first responders, right? You could always go to our Facebook page, Diva Holistic Wellness Care.
Diva,
Diva, yeah, DIBA.
Okay.
Yeah, Diva Holistic Wellness Care.
Okay.
And you could get, information there on our training calendar. Or if you want to come for therapy itself, because we have two types of therapy. In-person therapy, which is me and you one-on-one, individual therapy, and then we have virtual. So you could do individual therapy both like as we are now in the office or in our nature space or virtually, or we could do group therapy, which is, like I said, remember I said the support groups, grouping everybody that's anxiety in one group and having an anxiety support group, a depression support group, a this support group. So we're not putting everybody together. We are treating everybody based upon their different conditions, right? And not because you have signs of anxiety or depression does not mean you're actually depressed. It just means you have signs of it. Until you are clinically diagnosed and assessed, that is when we can say you have an anxiety disorder. So having signs and symptoms does not really mean that you actually have it. So when you come to the office, we diagnose you, assess you, do the diagnosis, they will say, okay, you have signs of. So these are the treatment plan we're going to put in, right? Treatment plan could be, okay, you have to do this, you have to do that, or take you through CBT or psychodynamics, or maybe gel cell therapy to help you, go through what you're going through. So we're preventing it altogether from happening. Now, if in the analysis we realize that you are actually depressed, now we create a treatment plan for you that's more intense to help you, go through by like helping you through the treatment process. Because remember, there's one, you have just symptoms, you're not yet there. And then there's the other one where you are already there. So the treatment for the one you're already there is more intense. So when you're actually diagnosed with a mental condition, the process of therapy is more intense than somebody who is trying to prevent it from manifesting. So basically, like I said, Facebook, WhatsApp, should I call the numbers?
Yeah, please,
okay.
please.
So on WhatsApp, you can get to our virtual assistant, 67198 6575. I think I'm getting it correct. 671986575. But if you want to get to me personally, my personal contact is 675355309, and our email is dibamacc@gmail.com, as in dibamacc@gmail.com. You can always drop us a message on WhatsApp, either to me, to our virtual assistant, or via email, or on Facebook.
Are you getting that, guys? Okay, please reach out. Don't die in silence. It's not a bad thing to be have mental disorder. Like say disorder, it's not like you're crazy. Just have to get back in order. So I think with mental health, sometimes we like with physical, we can say we prescribe medication because something that we can see, we can touch somehow to some extent. But when people look at mental health, they're like, how can I touch depression? How can I touch anxiety? How can I touch something that I can't touch? So how does medication look like when it comes to mental health?
So that's why there's a part in clinical mental health known as psychopharmacology.
Okay.
So pharmacology in its word is the production of drugs and the dissemination of those drugs to needed people, while psychopharmacology is the administration and dissemination of drugs for mental health conditions. So when you go to the hospital to get drugs for your physical body, psychopharmacology gives you drugs for the mental health conditions, antidepressants, anti-anxiety meds, just to help you suppress the depressing or the very strong symptoms of mental health conditions in the person, right? And it is not done as an island. We advocate for integrated healthcare, which is psychopharmacology and therapy at the same time. So you're not just taking medication only, medication-assisted treatment and therapy to help you, first of all, like I said, build resilience, learn how to rediscover yourself all over again, learn how to reintegrate into your community, and just build social connection. So yes, medication, there are medication that applies for the mental health conditions that people are going through, but it is not a one-size-fits-all treatment. It's an integrated treatment in collaboration with talk therapy to ensure that the person has an holistic experience. And it could always come further to psychosocial support. Okay, now you've gone through you're taking meds, you're going through therapy to make yourself better. Psychosocial, how do you take this your wellness now and reintegrate into your relationships? How do you become a better person while connecting with these other people in your relationships? So,
That's so much learned, and I'm so happy that this information is out there, because I think I'm someone that's always been seeing mental health as something so true.
Yeah.
But when you talk to other people, they're like, "Oh, you're just being,
I
you're
know.
exaggerating a little
I
bit."
know.
But until they find themselves in that situation, they're like, "I think I need this help." And like people have shown therapy. I'm so happy that I have people like you.
Thank you.
And to think that there are entire free like classes out there is
Yeah,
out
there
of
are
this
free
world.
classes.
I think
Sessions like, I'm sorry, therapy sessions in person are paid, but they also work with the budget of the people.
yeah.
We know that there are students. Some students may not be able to afford our fee.
Yeah.
So we have discounts based upon the financial capacity of an individual. At the end of the day, people should be mentally healthy so that they can be healthy in the workplace, healthy in your families, healthy in your friendships.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think at this point I've learned so much, but if there's one thing you like to maybe pass down to youth when it concerns the issue of mental health, like all your experience with working with people, what would that be?
All right, I think one thing that I want to say is we hear it so often that your past does not define you, which is true. We all at some point have had something that we regret or something that has scarred us. And instead of shoving that under the carpet over time, that builds amount to a certain degree of hurt, why not become responsible and intentional to pursuing your journey of recovery and healing, right? Whatever happened to you was not in your control, but now what is in your control is that you have the power to re-engineer your life. You have the power to use neuro-linguistic programming to do what we call understanding that our mind is like plastic, right? So we call it neuroplasticity. You have the power to re-engineer your mind to see the possibilities that may have gone lost while you were growing up because of the environment you find yourself in. So generally what I'm saying, it begins with you, and in you, it overflows from you to others. It begins in and with you, overflows from you to others. So what you didn't have and you wanted to, but begin by being that person for yourself, by holding space for yourself, by loving yourself, by ensuring that you are your motivation, you are your inspiration, and people will see how you treat you and learn to treat you better.
Oh, that's statement. People will see how you treat you and learn to treat you better. I think something it took me time to learn, because people are like, if you cannot love yourself enough, people cannot put that same amount of value to you that you don't give yourself.
And some may see you and still know that you treat yourself better, but still not treat you better.
Yeah.
Now healthy boundaries coming. Yeah.
It's a lot. You can sit and talk forever, but I'm so glad that we're able to have this discussion, this interview, that gave us your time. Thank you very much for joining us.
And my pleasure.
Guys, please take your mental health seriously after this. You've learned so much from Miss Guti Stella. Thank you very much, madam, for being here. I will see you next time on the next episode. Please do like and subscribe to the channel for more. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.